Orange Ape versus Slick. Well, they are racing. Check them out. It's an Orange Ape out to a lead coming down that first straightaway into Armageddon corner. Orange Ape has still got it going on down here to that final straight. It is going to be the Orange Ape over Slick. Orange Ape versus Gummy Bear. They are racing. Check them out here. As it's Orange Ape putting in a block right there before that first set of turns. Orange Ape is just flying down this track. It looks like it's going to be Orange Ape taking it here over. Orange Ape versus the Streak. They're racing. And it's the Orange Ape again out to a big lead. He put us on a nice little smooth little block there on the Streak coming down here to that final straight. It's going to be the Orange Ape going for his third win in a row. Orange Ape versus Watch Out. And they're off. Orange Ape out to a fast lead as he cuts off Watch Out. Coming down here that second set of turns. He's still got the lead and they're going to be battling it out down here to that final set of straights. It's going to be Orange Ape versus Ever Ready. They're racing. And it's Orange Ape that just jumps out to that lead coming down that first straightaway out of that gate. Boy, look at the Orange Ape just flying. This is going to be a no contest victory as Orange Ape takes it. Orange Ape versus Grey Dog. They're racing. It's Orange Ape out to a huge lead as they come down here. Oh, and Orange Ape gets spun around right there on that killer straight. And the Grey Dog is going to go on to take his first win. Grey Dog versus Fast Money. We're racing. And it's going to be Fast Money out to a bit of a lead coming down here. Now he's getting further and further out. But here comes Grey Dog trying to make a move around him. Coming down here to that final stretch. Can Grey Dog do it? No, it's Fast Money. Fast Money versus Hutch. They're off. Fast Money is out fast down that first straightaway, down to that second straightaway. Man, look at him go. He's just up low up. He gets held up. And down here to that final straight they go. He is a flying. Ultra versus Rich. They're off and racing, and it's going to be Ultra out to a nice little lead. Coming down here into that drifter straight, they both drift and get a little caught up. As they come down here, it is going to be Ultra. Ultra versus Drifter. And they're off and racing. And it's Ultra out to a bit of a lead down into that first set of turns. And here comes Drifter trying to make a move right here on him on Drifter straight. Cannot do it. It's going to be Ultra down here to the end. It is Ultra. Ultra versus RIP. And we're off and racing. It's Ultra out to a big lead. Ultra cuts him off right there in that first set of straights. Look at that speed coming by Ultra as he gets held up there for just a second. As we come down to that final straight, it is going to be Ultra. Ultra versus Mr. Cool. They're racing. And it's Ultra out to a big lead out of that gate as they come down here into that drifter straight. Ultra's flying down here, and it looks like it's going to be Ultra picking up his fifth win in a row. Ultra versus Fall Back. And they're off. Ultra's out to a huge lead coming out of that gate. He just flew out of that gate. He seems to be a hard one to beat as he's got a big lead coming down here to that final stretch. It is going to be Ultra picking up his sixth win. Ultra versus Paradise. They're off. Ultra's out to a bit of a lead, but Paradise is trying to make his way around. And now Ultra gets a bit of a more lead coming down here to that final straight we go. It is going to be Ultra picking up the win. Ultra versus Purple Ape. And they're off. Ultra's got the lead coming down here. What a surprise, as I figured the Purple Ape would be the one to take him out. But it don't look like it as we come down to that final stretch. It is going to be Ultra. Ultra versus Red Bull. They're off. And it's Ultra taking the lead coming down that first straightaway. Down into Armageddon corner they go. Ultra still got it going on, trying for his record-breaking 9th win in a row. And he does. Ultra versus Kazam. Will anybody ever beat out Ultra as they come down here into that first set of turns? Kazam's really challenging, but there's a big burst of speed by Ultra. I think Ultra's going to pick up his 10th win in a row, and it is Ultra. Ultra versus 401k. They are off and racing. Whoa, look at that fast start by Ultra. Ultra saying, I do not want to be beat, but looky here, it comes 401k really challenging him. Can we finally see the end of Ultra? No, it is Ultra taking the victory. Ultra versus Torch. With 11 wins in a row, will anybody beat out Ultra as he jumps out to a fast lead and he's going faster and down this final set of straights we're going to go. If he can hold it on the track, it is Torch picking up number 12. Ultra versus Peanut. With 12 wins in a row, can Ultra make it 13 as he comes down here into that first set of turns? Second set of turns, boy, is he out flying this time. It's going to be an easy victory there by Ultra. Ultra versus Tipsy. Let's hope Tipsy ain't tipsy driving. And it looks like he may be a little tipsy, as he is very slow coming out of that gate. And Ultra's just ultra fast, as it's going to be Ultra picking up his 15th win in a row. Wow. Ultra versus Juicy. And they're off. And again, it's a fast start there by Ultra. I don't think anybody's ever going to beat Ultra. I've said that before, but I'm going to say it again, as it's going to be Ultra picking up his 16th win in a row. Ultra versus Blondie. And they're off and racing. And it's Ultra with his 16 record-setting wins in a row. Coming down here into the drifter straight. And it's Blondie going to take over that lead coming down to that final. Can he hold on? It is going to be Blondie. Blondie versus Airbender. Blondie was the first car to take out Ultra, and that was a heck of a feat. As she's off to a big lead here coming down here into that drifter straight, down to that final straight. It looks like it's going to be Blondie taking her second win in a row. Blondie versus Hannibal. And they're off. Blondie's out to a fast lead coming down here right before that first set of turns. Down into the second set of turns. Final set of turns we go down here to that final straight. Blondie's got a huge lead. It's going to be Blondie picking up her third win in a row. Blondie versus Dolly. And they're off and racing. And it's Blondie out to a big lead here. As Blondie's a super fast car, folks. She's going to be picking up her fourth win if she can keep it on the track, and she does. 4 wins in a row for Blondie. Blondie versus Penny Loafer. And they're off and racing. Penny Loafer's out to a lead down that first straightaway. Now being taken over by Blondie's in the lead. Now Penny Loafer's in the lead. By golly, back and forth action here at the Comitel Raceway as they come down to the final stretch. It is going to be Penny Loafer versus Crazy Ace. And they're off and racing. And it's Penny Loafer out to a lead as he cuts off Crazy Ace. Penny Loafer's going to take this one smoothly if he can just keep it on the track. Boy, he's got this going on. It is going to be Penny Loafer picking up his second win. Penny Loafer versus Phoebe. Can a Lamborghini beat out a muscle car? And looky here, it's a tight battle going on here as Phoebe tries to get around him again. And we got all kinds of messed up. And it looks like it's going to be Penny Loafer picking up her third win. Penny Loafer versus Grasshopper. Penny Loafer with 3 wins in a row has been kind of a surprise. I did not expect this car to be doing that good, but I think her run's over with as now Grasshopper's just a flying past her. Coming down here to that final, it is going to be Grasshopper picking up his first win. Grasshopper versus Old Man. And they're off. And it's Old Man out to a bit of a lead going into that first set of turns. And look at that big burst of speed there by Grasshopper. Grasshopper's getting up more and more of a lead as he comes down here towards that finish line. It is going to be Grasshopper. Grasshopper versus Ballin. And they're off. And it's Grasshopper out to a lead coming into that first set of turns where he usually gets a big burst of speed. And he does, but he gets it sideways there on the killer straight. And that's going to allow Ballin to take the lead coming down here to the end. It is going to be Ballin. Ballin versus Chip. Then they're off and going. Look at that fast start coming out there by Ballin. That's a surprise for him, but look at Chip right on his tail. Coming down here to that final set of turns. It looks like it could just well be. It is Ballin. Ballin versus Bonnie. And they're racing. And it's Ballin out to the lead. And he gets that killer straight, and he gets a big burst of speed. He is a mile ahead of Bonnie. This is going to come down here for an easy victory for Ballin. Ballin versus Bertha. And they're off and racing, and it's Ballin out to a lead here coming down to that first set of turns. And look at Bertha trying to make a move around him. Can Bertha find a spot? Bertha keeps right on his tail coming down here to that final straight. Can Bertha do it? No, it's Ballin. Ballin versus Snooki. And we are off and racing. Look at that tight race coming down to that first set of turns. Oh, looky there, a little showboating going on by Snooki. Whoop, now it's time for a little dance between them. And we come down here to that final straight. It is going to be Snooki. Snooki versus Rarity. And we are off and racing. And it's Rarity out to the lead. Here comes Snooki trying to make a move. And Snooki gets spun out there on that killer straight. As Rarity's going to be way out front. As here comes Snooki. It's going to be Rarity taking the victory. Rarity versus Blue Lagoon. And they're off and racing. And you got Rarity out to a nice little lead coming down that first set of turns. Down here in Armageddon Corner. Down here into Widowmaker Run. And down to the finals we go. It's going to be Rarity versus Casino Cruiser. And we're off and racing. It's a tight race coming down that first set of turns. Oh, looky there. You got Casino Cruiser now taking the lead. But here comes Rarity trying to make a move on him. Coming down here to that final set of turns. And it is going to be Casino Cruiser. Casino Cruiser versus Monty. And they're off and racing. And looky there. You got Casino Cruiser off to a nice lead coming down here. I don't know if Monty's going to have enough to catch him as he comes down here to the end. It is going to be Casino Cruiser. Casino Cruiser versus Service. They're off and racing. And it's Service out to a lead out of that gate as he puts in a block there on Casino Cruiser. Coming down here in the Armageddon Corner. What a shock here, folks. The Service is winning this race. And it is going to be Service. Service versus Bronswagger. And they're off and racing. And the fast lead there by Service. Boy, he's surprising me. He could go on to pick up his second win if he can just keep it on the track here as we go down to that final straight. Here comes Bronswagger. It is going to be Service with the win. Service versus Sassy Girl. And they're off and racing, and it's Service again with the lead. As we come down here into Armageddon corner, he's pulling further and further out. It's going to be yet another easy victory here for Service. Service versus Special. And they're off and racing, and it's Service putting in a block there on Special. And they slow way down here right before they get into Armageddon corner. Down into that final set of turns. This is going to be a good close race down here at the end, as it is going to be Service. Service versus Smokeless. And they're going to be off and racing. As it is Service out to the lead. He has really surprised me, folks. I did not think a man would do this good on this track, but I tell you what, he has held his own. As we come, no, it's going to be Smokeless taking it. Smokeless versus Promo. They're off and racing. It's Smokeless leaving him in the smoke back there. Coming down here into Armageddon corner. Smokeless has got a huge lead coming on here. I think he's going to take this one easily. It will be Smokeless. Smokeless versus Magic Man. They're off and racing. Magic Man out to a big lead. Nope, here comes Smokeless. Nope, now he's out to a big lead again. Coming down here into that final stretch. It looks like it is going to be the Magic Man. Magic Man versus Let's See. And they're off and racing. Oh, Let's See gets held up there on that starter gate. Oh, man, this is going to be an easy victory, but Let's See is closing the gap here. So we come down to that final stretch. Can Let's See do it? It is going to be Let's See. Let's See versus Replay. And they're off. And you got Replay and both Let's See both get held up there. Let's See got held up last time. Can he make it back for the win this time as he did last time? He's trying to get around Replay, and he does get it done. And he's going to win it. Let's See versus Snowflake. And they're off. And it is Snowflake got to a bit of a lead coming down to that first set of turns. Snowflake's got a nice little run going here. See, make sure he's bip-bopping around here to keep Let's See from passing him. And it is going to be Snowflake versus Muskrat. And they're off and racing. And you got Snowflake out to a bit of a lead coming down that first set of turns. Now down here into Armageddon corner, his lead is growing further and further out. He's got a big lead coming down to that final straight, as it is going to be Snowflake. Snowflake versus Rooster. And they're off and racing. Look at Snowflake's big lead already. Coming down here into Armageddon corner, down into Drifter straight. He's got a nice line going, as it is going to be Snowflake. Snowflake versus Cool Kid. And they're off and racing. Look at that fast start by Snowflake. Oh, Cool Kid gets all kinds of messed up right before that first set of turns. This is going to go on to be an easy victory here for Snowflake, and she takes 4 in a row. Versus Margie. They're off and racing in a tight race down to that first set of turns. And it is Margie that takes the lead coming out of them first set of turns. And she's going to do a little drifting here on Drifter Straight as she comes down here to the end. It is going to be Margie. Margie versus Lola. They're off and racing. And it's Margie out to a lead, surprisingly. I thought Lola would put up more of a fight than this. But Margie is just a flying down this track. And it is going to be, as we hit that straight, Margie. Margie versus the Blue Ape. This should be an easy race for Margie, as the Blue Ape has not been a fast car in the past here at the Comitel Raceway. And it is going to be Margie going to be taking up an easy victory here. Margie versus Soul Ride. Margie's been making quick work of her competition through the first 3 races. Now in her 4th race, she's trying to do the same thing to Soul Ride as they come down here into that final set of turns. It is going to be Margie picking up the win. Margie versus Dawn. Margie's going for her 5th win, which seems to elude a lot of these drivers. They hit that 4 mark and then they stutter. And coming down here into that oh, looky there on Drifter Straight. Yeah, she gets held up bad. Here we go, come down to the end. It is going to be Margie. Cherry Bomb versus Maggie. And they're off and racing. And looky there, you got Maggie off to a big lead again. Boy, she's just a fast little car here. She is making this look easy here on these Diecast racing shorts. It's Maggie. Jolly Rogers. And they're off and racing. Margie's out to a bit of, oh, Margie just put a heck of a block in there. They went boing. And back there, back off and racing again. So, I mean, it's all good. Down here to that final stretch they go. It is going to be Margie. Margie versus Guardian. And they're off and racing. Margie's halfway to the world record of 16. Held by Ultra. As he has 16 wins in a row, Margie has 8. As they come down here to that final stretch, it is going to be Margie picking up her 9th. Margie versus Chicken Leg. That's right, folks. That car's name is Chicken Legs. Yeah, it's just Margie out to a lead over the Chicken Leg. And down here we go, as Chicken Leg is falling way behind. I think Chicken Leg needs some wings or something here, as it's going to be Margie taking it. Margie versus Molly. And it should be Molly should take this one easily, but no, it's Maggie out to a fast lead right there. Margie, I mean, not Maggie, it's Margie out to a fast lead, and Margie's leaving them in the dust. What an easy win for Margie. Margie versus Elvira. Is this Margie's looking like she's never going to lose, as she's off to another fast start. She's got 11 wins in a row. She needs to get up to 16 to tie the record for the most wins in Diecast Racing Short Series. And here we go. It is going to be Margie. Margie versus Nanner. And they're off and racing. And it's Margie once again with the lead. Man, this car is just unbeatable here on these Diecast Racing Shorts. Oh, but he gets a little sideways. Gets a sliding down there on that drifter straight. Coming down here to the end is going to be Margie. Margie versus Roseanne. And Margie's just 3 wins away from tying the record for the most wins in Diecast Racing Short Series. And she is just out to a big lead here again, so she should be able to pick up number 14, and she does. Margie versus USA. And they're off and racing, and Margie jumps out of that gate fast like she's been doing here for the past 13, 14 races. And look here, she's just out flying down this track as she comes down to that final straight. It is going to be Margie picking up 15. Margie versus Waggy. And if Margie wins this, she will tie the record for 16 wins in a row. As we come down here, look at Waggy trying to prevent her from breaking that record. And here we go down to the final stretch. It is going to be Margie. Margie versus Powder Puff. And they're off and racing. If Margie wins this, she will be the sole holder of the world record for the most wins in the Diecast Racing Short Series. As she's got a big lead coming down here, it is going to be Margie. Margie versus Romeo. And we're off and racing, and Margie's been unbeatable here through 17 races. Can't she pick up number 18? And she's got a huge lead. I think she's going to take this one easily, folks. Yes, it will be Margie. Margie versus Rims. They're off and racing, and Margie's out to a big lead again, and she's already got 18. Oh, look at that. Synchronized spinning there coming down here into that final straight we go. It is going to be Margie. Margie versus Renner. Will anybody ever beat out Margie? She goes for win number 20 in a row. She's off to a big lead. Coming down, she gets a little squirrely, but I think she's all right. Here she goes. Oh, she gets loose, and it is going to be Runner taking it. Runner versus Dumpster Diver. And they're off and racing. And this Dumpster Diver out to a fast lead over Runner, who just dethroned Margie, who is our overall champion. And it is going to be Dumpster Diver taking this. Dumpster Diver versus Tater. What great names for cars. As that Dumpster Diver is out front when you think he should be behind trying to dig for those taters in that dumpster. As we come down here to that final stretch, it is going to be Dumpster Diver. Dumpster Diver versus Kiddo. And we're going to be off and racing. And this Dumpster Diver putting in a block right there to slowed Kiddo way down. This is going to make for an easy run here for Dumpster Diver as we come down to that final stretch. It is going to be Dumpster Diver. Dumpster Diver versus Sherry. And we're off and racing. Dumpster Diver out to a big lead, but Sherry's right on his butt. And Sherry just runs him right off the track. Sherry was brutal as she's going to pick up her first win. Sherry versus Streak number 6. And they're off and racing. This Sherry out to a bit of a lead coming down here. And Armageddon corner. Sherry's pulling further out now as the Streak just does not have it. It's going to be Sherry. Sherry versus Gina. And they're off and racing. Look at Sherry out to a big lead. Boy, she's just out flying down the track today. Somebody needs to tell Gina that this is a race, not a Sunday afternoon drive. Look how slow she's going, as it is going to be Sherry taking the win. Sherry versus Stinger. And we're off and racing. And it's Sherry out to a bit of a lead. Coming to that first set of turns now. Sherry's got it. No, Sherry just gets spun around. And you got Stinger taking the lead. Coming down here to that final set of straights. It is going to be Stinger. Stinger versus Apple. And they're off and racing. Stinger's out to a big jump out of that gate, but he's being challenged big time there by Apples. We come down here to that final straight. It is going to be Stinger. Stinger versus William himself. Stinger has shown he can do good in these Diecast Racing Short Series. We weren't keeping track of wins and losses back when he first started, but he really dominated pretty nicely. As we come down here to the end, it is going to be Stinger. Stinger versus Biscuit. Can Stinger dominate the Diecast Racing Short Series as he's off to a big lead? Looks like he's going to take this one easy. Oh, gets a little sideways down there, and he is going to take his 4th in a row. Stinger versus Hunter. And they're off and racing. And it's Stinger out to a bit of a lead, but Hunter's really giving him a challenge. Nobody's really challenged Stinger so far, and now it's going to be Stinger pulling further out. It is going to be Stinger. Stinger versus Not Today. And they're off and racing. Stinger jumps out fast to a fast lead out of that gate. And coming down here into that drifter straight down into Armageddon corner. Stinger still got it, and it is going to be Stinger. Stinger versus Little Lady. As Stinger's won 6 in a row in the Diecast Racing Short Series. And he's off to a nice little lead here over Little Lady. Can the Little Lady catch up here coming down here into Widowmaker run? And it looks like it's going to be Stinger. Stinger versus the Streak. Stinger's off to a nice little bit of a lead here with 7 wins in a row. And here comes the streak coming on strong, and the streak takes over. Coming down here to that final stretch. Oh, it's going to be Streak getting knocked across. Streak versus Green Ape. And they're off and racing. And it's a Streak out to a nice little bit of a lead. And now he's really extending that lead. Coming down here into that wood to make a run. They go. It is going to be the Streak picking up his second win. The Streak versus Old Man. And they're off and racing. It's a Streak out to a lead. And he's got this thing going on here in the Armageddon corner down here into wood to make a run. He's just flying down this thing. He's going to pick up his 3rd win in a row. Armageddon corner down into wood to make a run. The Streak's got a nice lead, and it is going to be the Streak. Streak versus Purple Flame. And they're off and racing. This Purple Flame out to a lead. Nope, the Streak takes over that lead. Coming down here in the Armageddon corner down into wood to make a run. The Streak's got a nice lead, and it is going to be the Streak. Streak versus White Hot. And they're off and racing. It's White Hot out to a lead. Coming. Ooh, White Hot gets a little squirrely right there. Coming down here. Oh, he gets squirrely again. And the Streak says rejected. And he's going to go on here to win his 5th in a row.